Herb. Herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything. Herb.
Welcome to Eugene Cannabis TV. You got DanK here, and we got Jeremy on my right, and Jeremy is here to help us again, and we got some stories for you. We have our T-shirts laid out. These are shirts that you could have with a donation for the Hemp Fest, shirts that we've been using on the show. We've got some announcements to talk about a little bit later, but right now we want to jump into the main story that we didn't actually have time for last show. This is related to the Super Bowl. The Marijuana Policy Project put up some bulletin boards around the Super Bowl advertising our cause. So we wanted to show you what they look like and describe them briefly. It says, when the Denver Broncos face off, this is of course speaking ahead of time, and this has already happened now, but anyway, it says when they face off when the Denver Broncos face off against the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl on Sunday, they will be representing the only two states in the nation that have legalized recreational marijuana sales, something activists hope to change soon. And they're renting out big billboards near the event to promote their cause. 5 billboards around New Jersey's MetLife Stadium will show ads promoting the drug as safer than either football or alcohol. The Marijuana Policy Project, which was deeply involved in getting pot legalized in Colorado, announced in a release. Taking a big hit of marijuana poses less potential harm than taking a big hit from an NFL linebacker or a big shot of tequila, MPP Director of Communications Mason Trevert said. The group also launched a petition calling for the National Football League to reduce penalties for players caught using the drug. With little hope for federal action, the fight over legalization is currently exclusively focused on states which have moved ahead on legalizing marijuana with the cautious and tactic approval of the Justice Department. Sales began in April in Colorado on January 1 and are expected to begin soon in Washington. Alaskans will have their chance to approve sales in their state with a ballot vote this summer, and MPP hopes a handful of states will join the movement over the next few years. So here's the images that of the billboards that they had up during the Super Bowl game. One of them shows somebody with their hands cuffed behind the back. It says U.S. marijuana arrest in 2012, 749,824. Total attendance, Super Bowl games, let's see, that's 38 through present, 751,203. So it's interesting, pretty close on the figures there. And then the other billboard, it shows a pitcher of beer, a football helmet, and a pot leaf, and it says beer, football, safer. So it's pretty simple, but it makes the point very clear. And then you see this other one. Do you want to describe the next one?
The next one has a football player, right? And it says marijuana is less harmful to our bodies than alcohol. Why does the league punish us for making the safer choice?
And then the next one is, see, you got a guy bent over with a beer bottle, and then there's the next image of the football player on his back. It says marijuana, safer than alcohol and football. So yeah, that's makes it pretty clear. Gets the image on that one. How about the next one?
The last one is a football player holding a football, and it says marijuana is less harmful to our bodies than alcohol. Why does the league punish us for making the safer choice? It's kind of the same as the other one, but a different picture. Yeah.
Well, that's great, and hopefully that will make an impact and visual impact and make the point. So, and then We've got the
I'll read this.
we have the Backlash. This is the couple of billboards that were put up by groups that oppose legalization. The fight over legalizing marijuana for recreational use is temporarily relocating near East Rutherford, New Jersey. Activists on both sides of the movement are placing billboards in the New York and New Jersey area to take advantage of the high profile of Super Bowl 48. So it talks about these billboards that we just looked at. Well, and now what we're going to show you is the billboard that's put up by Project Sam, a key opponent of marijuana legalization, is running a single ad continually in 3 locations through next week. The $4,500 cost was paid by Project Sam director Kevin Sabit's private consulting company. Kevin Sabit is a well-known anti-pot activist, drug warrior as we call him. One ad comes down Monday night, while the other 2 end their run on Wednesday night. Both sides tie marijuana to football, but in both ways.
In different ways, yes.
In different ways, excuse me. Yeah. So, the first one shows a football player with making going for a touchdown, I guess you'd say. Motivation, perseverance, determination. That's above the football player. And then they have the pot leaf, and it says, none of the above. And then it says, marijuana kills your drive. Don't lose in the game of life. www.learnaboutsam.com. Smart approaches to marijuana is the name of the group.
Yeah, some people will try anything to try and discredit marijuana.
Yeah, and then describe. Then we got how you describe the next one here.
The other one is from marijuanasafer.org, and it shows that alcoholic beverage. It says overdose deaths, violent crimes, serious injuries, and then it shows a pot leaf, which interestingly enough is the same pot leaf from the Sam one, and it says none of the above. Prohibiting adults from making the safer choice is not a smart choice. Marijuanasafer.org.
Yeah, these last 2, the one that Jeremy just read and the one I'll be reading here, are the 2 more pro ads, by the way. There was only 1 anti-ad. And the next one is, let's see, it was put on by the same thing, Marijuana Policy Project. It says, this is a quote, "I agree with the president. Alcohol is more dangerous than marijuana." And that quote is by Patrick Kennedy, chairman of the Smart Approaches to Marijuana group, which is which is a group that had the anti-pot ad. So they actually caught him in a statement that contradicts what his own group puts out. So anyway, it's interesting how that goes back and forth.
Yeah, it just shows that they're completely, they don't even believe what they put on that billboard, so it's stupid that they even made it in the first place.
Yeah, it's it's interesting. So this is out of Colorado. This is off of the coloradonormal.org website. This is the press release. Coalition for Drug Testing Policy Reform to develop guidelines for employers and elected officials. February 4th, even with the passage of Amendment 64 and the change in legal status of marijuana, employees in Colorado can still be denied employment or fired from their jobs simply for failing a urine test for THC. This is not treating marijuana like alcohol. Marijuana use off the job and without any impairment at work should not be grounds for termination. Well, with this in mind, Colorado Normal and the Colorado Normal Women's Alliance are pleased to host a special working group to address employee drug testing in the workplace. We are joined by over 20 individuals from a variety of stakeholder groups representing employers, consumers, patients, employment lawyers, and civil rights organizations to form the Coalition for Drug Testing Policy Reform and bring focus, clarity, and reason to this critical issue. The goal of this group is threefold: to draft a recommended policy for Colorado employers regarding marijuana use and drug testing, to draft a proposed local ordinance that may be adopted by cities and counties. And finally, because this is of statewide concern, to encourage the General Assembly to take up this issue in light of changes to the legal status of marijuana and marijuana consumers in Colorado under Amendment 64. So anyway, this is a really good deal, and hopefully we'll maybe get something like this going in Oregon, because as marijuana becomes more and more accepted, we're going to have to make some changes to make sure people aren't harassed for the use of it. Even though it's legal, they're going to still be harassed for it. So we know how that's going to work. So the next one is, you want to read that first
Alaska
section?
A measure to legalize pot qualifies for August vote. A measure could make Alaska the third U.S. state to legalize recreational marijuana use after Colorado and Washington has enough of valid signatures to be put forth before voters in August, state officials said on Tuesday. If voted into law, the Alaska initiative would allow adults aged 21 and older to possess up to an ounce of marijuana and grow up to 6 plants, and would pave the way for creation of a system to tax and regulate pot sales. The initiative has met at the state requirement for signatures. It's now a matter of officially getting the certification documents signed by the lieutenant governor. To push the legalization of recreational pot in Alaska, which is among the 20 states that already has medical marijuana, is part of a broader state-by-state effort to end the prohibition of the drug. Activists in Oregon are also gathering signatures to put a legalization measure on the 2014 ballot in that state. While pot remains a banned narcotic under federal law, the Obama administration has said it will give individual states the leeway to permit its recreational use. Recreational pot stores opened their doors last month in Colorado and are months away from beginning operations in Washington state. Of roughly 46,000 signatures submitted by pot campaigners in Alaska to qualify for the ballot, 31,593 have been verified, with more or than 30,169 required.
Okay, reviewed. Yeah, that's great. So we're definitely looks like that one's going to make it on the ballot. Big news. So we got to wrap this up real quick. We got the Lane County chapter of the ACLU Oregon presents the marijuana relegalization. That's coming up this Thursday, Friday the 13th. It's going to be Eugene Public Library at the Bascom Room at 5:30. So appreciate it if you could be there. I think it'd be a great presentation. See you next week. Welcome to Eugene Cannabis TV. We've got a real special show tonight. We've got a couple of guests that came in, and we always appreciate having guests talk about their story. So let me introduce myself. I'm DanK, host of the show, and so I am DanK. Well, we've got Kush. So this is Kush Landin. So appreciate you coming in, Kush.
Yeah, of course.
And Kush was one to come in and talk about cannabis and what it means to him and what it's done in his life, good or bad. So tell us your cannabis story.
So basically, I'm always on the internet, you know. I'm a teenager, so I'm always on like Facebook or any other websites like Meet Me and stuff, or Snapchat. And I'm always seeing posts about like kids saying how cannabis is bad for you. And I tell them every time, like, it's the best thing. If anything, it's better than the drugs that kids are out there doing, that like kids are singing about and making like rap songs and stuff like that. They're talking about doing Molly, doing Adderall, and any other hardcore drugs like ecstasy. And it's like, why do that? Where it takes ice cream scoops out of your brains. Like, why would you want to do a drug that will like take literally an ice cream scoop out of your brain? You're gonna need that to think so you can get through school. So, like, the best thing to do is finish school, get out, get your diploma, and just get out and find a nice job. And if you want to continue to smoke weed, then do it. It's your choice if you want to or not, I say.
Yes, definitely. And you know what strikes me as the irony of it is now they come up with this supposedly fake marijuana, and that stuff is really bad for you. And so here they are trying to find a substitute for a substance that's not really harmful, but they're trying to find a substitute because it's illegal. It's such a crazy thing.
Yeah, no, I don't understand why they haven't made a weed legalized, because it's even been proven that it helps cancer patients.
Yeah, and why it isn't legalized. Well, we could cover the whole show. I'd take the whole show to talk about that one. But yeah, it's speaking of which, I'll jump in here real quick and talk about that. February 13th, the Lane County chapter of the ACLU is having a presentation called Marijuana Relegalization, and they asked me to be the facilitator. Oh. Which is really cool. So cool. It's going to be fun because I'm going to really be able to talk about my activism and where I've come from and what I've seen. I've been an activist for 18 years, so I'm not the new guy anymore. You know, compared to a lot of my peers, I am, because these guys have been there a lot longer than I have. But at 18 years, I've been there, and you know, I can't have to talk about things I heard about. I talk about things that I saw. You know,
yeah, exactly.
But anyway, we'll talk some more about legalization because some exciting things are coming up. Okay. And also, I'm looking forward to for both you and our next guest, your friend Devin, being able to help us with HempFest too.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for help with the HempFest and all our projects. It's all about a cannabis. It's all about a plant, you know.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And I always like the one that says marijuana is not a drug; it's a plant with a drug in it.
Exactly. And
actually, got more than one in it. But the THC is what we talk about, but then there's the CBDs. Are you familiar with the CBDs?
Yes. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I've done my research, but I know about how THC is the stuff that makes you high, and the CBD takes out the CBD is supposed to take out the THC, right? No,
actually, well, the CBDs are the healthy parts. That's what actually helps this medical part. And I couldn't explain it to you much further than that. But I do know that with today's technology, they're able to cultivate strains, and now there's strains with very high CBD and very low THC for patients, and it's really exciting what all's being done.
I know. I was watching this show the other day, and there's this guy that's making a tincture just out of the CBD and is taking all the THC out of it for this 5-year-old kid that is having seizures. Yep. And I was watching the show, and it didn't explain if it helped him with his seizures or whatsoever. They just gave it to the kid and they left. Yeah. So I didn't understand what had to.
Yeah, and it's bad I didn't do a follow-up on it, but there's been a lot of cases like that, and it actually eliminates seizures, and it's amazing what it can do. It's just absolutely amazing.
I know, it's just amazing how a little plant can help you so much.
Yeah, and the things are changing. I mean, it's crazy how it's going. We've got 2 states legalized, and we got them all. A bunch of them are getting ready to do different versions of the same thing, and so. I like to say the walls are coming down.
I know, like the first 2 football teams that ever had marijuana legalized, they Superbowl last night, which was a crazy game. Did you watch that?
No, I didn't. I don't watch football, but I did have a lot of fun with it, especially with the 2 states that, like you said, are cannabis friendly. What I posted on Facebook, I said I don't really need to watch the game because I already know who's going to win. It's going to be a stoner state, right?
Of course, of course.
Yeah. So. And it was right. I was right. It was a stoner state.
So why should it matter whoever wins anyways when they both have legalized marijuana?
Yeah, exactly. But it's fun. But you know, speaking of that, when that happened, when they passed and we didn't, we were pretty disappointed in Oregon. But at the same time, one of the first things I thought of is, well, both states are completely different in each other and how they approached it and how the law works, and so it's interesting that we've got 2 different cases that we can look at. And then we can hopefully learn from that. And so that's going to help us now, because hopefully in 2014, if we can get something on the ballot, I think we'll be next in 2014.
I mean, Oregon's the greenest state, right?
Exactly, and I think basically it's our win to lose.
I mean, how can we be the greenest state when we don't even have the legalized green plant?
If we can just get it on the ballot, I'm sure it'll make it. So,
exactly.
It's really exciting, and I'll be talking more about that later. Yeah. It's really coming around. Now, do you have? You say you're on the internet a lot and stuff, but how about socially? you have a how is your network of cannabis
Well,
friends?
mostly all my friends that I hang out with smoke cannabis. I mean, I do hang out with kids that don't. I mean, I won't judge people that don't. I mean, it's their choice and they can choose to do whatever. But the friends that I stay truly connected with are the ones that I can smoke cannabis with, because I've learned over the years that there's no way to connect better with someone when you're just hanging out and smoking a bowl and talking, like, you know, just having a nice conversation, like a heart to heart, and I know, like with one of your bros. I mean, me and my friend Devin, you know, of course, like we've been up like late night just hanging out, smoking bowls, just talking about past stuff and stuff like that.
What have you seen in your friends to where cannabis has actually really helped, and how?
I realize that most of my friends, like, you know, they're dealing with the parent issues and whatnot, and you know how some parents aren't really there and they don't really like help children as much, you know, because they say weed's bad, weed's a drug, and it doesn't help them whatsoever, but they won't know until they try it. I mean, I don't understand why people talk badly about it when they don't know anything about it.
Do you think it has any ill effects on say, young people?
Well, I feel like you shouldn't smoke until you think you're mature for it. I mean, if you're not mature enough to handle it, then well, you can. It's just, I feel like it'd be better to have a more mature and steady, stable mind.
Yeah, it's always a hard thing, you know, as what's the age that somebody could start using cannabis? You know, I remember years ago I had a girlfriend that let her 8-year-old son eat one of the brownies that I made, and it turned out that he snuck back and ate 2 more.
Yeah,
and we didn't know about it. And then this gets better. And then Grandma and Grandpa showed up, and they were to take us out to dinner, and we didn't know they were coming.
And they had a brownie.
And no, they didn't have a brownie, but they took us out to dinner, and Robbie he fell asleep at the restaurant actually. And so it was kind of comical. But then the next morning I asked him if he wanted any more brownies. He said, "Oh no, no thanks. He had enough of those."
My uncle, he was making cupcakes, and he had them out, and his mom and the little kid comes in and asks for a cupcake, and his mom's like, "You can't have those as their dad's. They're special medicine cupcakes." And then the kid leaves the room, and the mom goes to grab one, and then the little kid walks back. He's like, "I thought those were dad's." As she takes a bite of one.
That's funny. Busted.
Yeah.
That's great.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And the kid's only like 6 years old, something like that.
Yeah, that's one concern that people are having, because especially with medical edibles, they're really potent, you know. We got to wrap this up. So, Kush, I appreciate you coming in, and
nice to meet you.
Interesting, and we appreciate your help, and we'll be hopefully be around and always come back and visit us.
Oh yeah,
anytime.
of course. I mean, I'm always hanging out with Jeremy, and he always says to come down, and I've seen pretty much all the episodes almost. I mean,
excellent. Yeah, you bet. You can go on YouTube and watch the episodes. So we'll see you next segment. Welcome to Eugene Cannabis TV. You made it back to the next segment. This is the second, this is the third part of the second segment. No, anyway. So we're here with Joseph. Joseph popped in, and really glad to see him. And this is Joseph from the greener side.
Happy to be here,
and
like always.
Real quick, how you doing on the greener side?
Doing good. Everybody's happy.
Excellent.
Getting the help that they deserve, like we all deserve the help.
Right. And did you say a move was coming up, or what were just?
Yeah, we're planning on moving, getting a new space.
Okay.
And,
any idea about when?
You know, March, very beginning of March, we'll have all the specs met for HB 3460, and real excited to have everybody come down, see the new place, and
excellent. Yeah.
You know, we'll be able to help more people. I believe we're trying to get kind of a grand opening type of thing going on. Have some folks down, you know, from a seed company possibly, and everything like that. But once I get, you know, everything else kind of squared away, I'll come on, let you guys all know. It's all on the Facebook page as well. So. And
speaking of HB 3460, that's the dispensary bill that passed, and legal dispensaries are about to open. And so, real quick, Joe, tell us about there's 2 events that I know of that already happened regarding running dispensaries.
Yeah, so there was a big Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference that went on down south in Ashland, Oregon. That was put on by Ashland Alternative Health. Alex Roger and the crew down there are really awesome. They're very intelligent, very knowledgeable, and anything that they do well. And it's really nice to see, you know, that coming from local here in Oregon, you know. And there was speakers on the new law, on the new initiatives coming in. There was the National Cannabis Industry Association there. Also some people from the ArcView group. There's really a lot of the big names, and you know, the innovative people there. There was their grasshopper extractor there. That's kind of a newer invention, essentially for dry ice extraction and whatnot. And yeah, it's just it's really amazing to see the momentum behind this industry. It's really picking up, and it's picking up with a force. And
I've always said there's big money in medical marijuana. I've said it since it became law, you know, and it's becoming just showing it is. It's a very big money.
And the big thing, you know, is that people are seeing, you know, well, there's definitely that aspect, but there's also like, well, where can we put this to better our state? And it's awesome. You know, awesome to see that people are, you know, deciding to go that route as opposed to, you know, putting it in their pockets.
Did you go to the one in Portland?
Yeah, we did. Chelsea actually got to moderate for the panel up there
cool.
at the National Cannabis Industry Association symposium up there. They had, you know, a great panel of speakers. Once again, it was a full day event, 3 different panels. There was a panel on cannabis retail for, you know, from over there in Colorado. There was a panel on cultivation. There's a panel on, you know, the new laws going in here in effect in Oregon. The keynote speaker was Earl Blumenauer. He was there, so he was, you know, he's always, you know, been in our corner essentially. So that was really awesome to see. And you know, if anybody has chances to get up there and go to these events, and you know, go down to Ashland and go to the events down in Ashland, not only do you get, you know, the awesome feeling of being inside of there and watching, you know, this all this stuff unfold right before your eyes, but you get a chance to really connect with the people that you know, you wouldn't normally have a chance to connect with on a day-to-day basis, and you really get to you know, get down to the nitty-gritty questions with a lot of people that, you know, you normally don't get to. And the OCIA was there. I'm a board member for the OCIA. It's Oregon Cannabis Industry Association. We're actually having our first event on February 22nd. It's Cannabusiness 101. That'll be up in Portland. And
another $100 event. I saw that. Yeah.
yeah. But you know,
none of this stuff's cheap, by the way, folks.
No, but you know, without the funds, we wouldn't be able to even bring these people together. So it's pretty effective.
I hope to see that excitement on legalization. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, and we're very excited to see the adult use and everything come to market here in Oregon.
Okay, listen for the grand opening. We'll be talking about it for Greenside. Thanks.
Who call themselves governments and this and that. Why them say you must not use the herb?